Okay, so the next part of the interview is going to be like conversation pieces. We didn't want the interview to just be like us asking questions and you answering
Yeah.
them and then just like having that. So,
Mm.
I don't know. Okay, so can you make predictions about how AI will change the biology field?
Mhm. Yeah, AI is changing biology and medicine already. You can look into startups that work in AI, for example. There are plenty of those. And the general idea with AI is the way you can use it in different fields, not necessarily in biology or medicine, is it helps at optimizing processes. It helps you with, for example, if you run experiments and you want to know which protein is going to have the function you want, one way to do it is just do actual biological experiments. Maybe you need to do thousands of those to check different proteins. But if you can use a computational model to narrow it down to maybe like 100 of those, and it's just 100 you need to check, that's like 10 times speed up in your experiments, and it reduces the cost of the chemicals, the media you need, all the equipment you need. So that's what AI and computational biology is really good for. With regards to medicine specifically, it can also be used for diagnosis. So it can be used in support when the doctors, for example, check MRI scans or X-rays or ECG measurements, anything like that. The machine learning and AI can be used in helping make decisions. It can be used to help monitor patient conditions. So, for example, if somebody in a hospital and they're connected to a whole bunch of monitors and like blood pressure or like oxygen levels, anything, you can technically have, and there are startups working on that, you can have AI system that would be analyzing this data and, for example, notify doctors if anything goes wrong before it's like some critical condition. So there are a lot of applications like that. So I would say that's probably one of the main directions. AI and machine learning get more useful as the computational powers increase, because obviously if you want to analyze big data sets, you need good computers. And that's something that UFT is good for example. We have big clusters, we have big, basically kind of supercomputer clusters, you can call them, that provide you with a lot of power. That's what I've been using for my research a lot, and that helps. That helps a lot. And the more this power grows, the more options there will be, opportunities to do some big, large-scale machine learning on biological data. Another aspect is the data itself. So the more data we produce, the more data we save, the more patient data that is accessible. Of course, that increases like the amount of options of where you can go and what kind of analysis you can do. So in the future, I would say the more data we get, the more AI and machine learning there will be, both in science and in medicine. And there are a lot of directions. There is drug discovery, where you can also use AI, and there are some companies, like there are some startups like Cyclica around. I think Jim Genomics does something like that. So there are startups in Toronto that are founded by people. Many of those are from UFT. And they work on drug discovery, and they have contracts with big firms like Bayer, for example, and they help them with the drug discovery process. So there are a lot of opportunities, both for research and business.
That sounds wonderful. We were also wondering, how will AI change jobs or the number of jobs for people? Maybe particularly in biology, because I want to go into biology and I really don't want to get like replaced by a robot. That would be
That's
preferable.
yeah, that's a good question. I would say it's unlikely that it's going to fully replace people, because somebody has to do the experiments, and that's something you need to do physically with your hands, with that plates. And there are some robots that can optimize parts of this process, but it doesn't really seem feasible to design robots that's going to do really sophisticated experiments, like series of experiments automatically. So there will be need for people to do the experiments as technicians, but I will say that it's probably going to be prerequisite going into biology that you know some bio. Because there will be some data analysis you will need to do anyway with your data. And one option, of course, for the lab is to hire a computation biologist who will be doing that, but it's much easier to be hiring biologists who can do some bio too. So you can analyze your own data, produce some graphs. If you need to do analysis, so you should be able to do that. And I would say, looking further in the future, there will probably, I don't know if there's going to be fewer jobs in bio, because like just biology in general and medicine are growing a lot. People care about their health. They want to be healthy. They want cure diseases. There's a lot of money involved. And so the department, for example, is growing. We keep getting more and more students every year. And in that sense, I think there will be jobs, but it is likely going to be expected to that you know some computational biology. Yeah.
Okay, well that sounds good. I'm glad that there's still jobs in it for me. Okay, so we're gonna yeah, that was that was kind of more of a personal question. I just wanted to know.
No, but that makes sense. A lot of people ask that. A lot of people ask about doctors. For example, is AI going to replace doctors? And the thing is, not fully. I mean, some of them maybe, like radiologists, for example, like looking at X-rays. That's something that definitely a machine learning model can do better, probably these days already. But there is still, like, humans make a final decision, and you can use machine learning and AI tools to support decision making. But in the end, it's still going to be doctors making the decisions. There might be fewer of those, or maybe not. We'll see. So AI is good at automation. It's good at optimizing some processes, but in the end, it's humans making the decision.